Let me say a pleasant good evening to every one of us who are watching Maris TV, and I want to say welcome tonight to another great edition of the Maris TV show on nation building. And tonight we are here again. We say thank you for always following us on this platform. We are here to provide education for every one of us in order to prepare us for good leadership, uh, be a community based, be a governance, wherever places that we're going to find ourselves. So this platform is here to create awareness on so many things that happens in our society. So tonight we are here with another episode of the Miles TV on society and nation building. And tonight we are here with another interesting topic that's talking about integrity and doing the right thing when no one is watching. Tonight we're going to be diving deeper into this discussion tonight. I hope that you invite somebody to follow this show tonight, as many as they can follow. We also ask that you can send in your question. You are welcome to send in your question. Tonight going to be an interactive discussion, so I want you to stay tuned tonight and share as many as you can do for us. As we're going to be joined by some of our colleagues to discuss this interesting topic. You know, the thing of integrity. You know, many times we just say it, but we don't know. Some of us don't know, right? It's not like everybody, but some of us don't know the kind of effect they have, the thing of integrity. Many times we say that I have spent time building my integrity. I spent time building my trust. I spent time building, that respect, that character. And I would love for anyone to just, do what they don't. It is not necessary to do with my character. So integrity tonight is going to be our focus point, and we said doing the right thing when no one is watching, right? Okay, it is good that you have that character, that moral, that value, but we said when no one is watching, what can you do as an individual? And that's why we are here tonight to have this great discussion. So while we are waiting our people to join us tonight, let's take our commercial, and then once we get back, we're gonna keep the ball rolling. Stay tuned tonight as we go through this entire show. So let's take our commercial, and we say Facebook with no copyright to this song that is about to be played. This is our own song, and we say thanks to everybody for following, and we appreciate. So let's go to the song straightly, and then once we get back, we start the discussion.
Africa, speak! Africa, tell your story! This is the voice of the people! Wallace TV! The future is now! Africa, rise! From the rising sun across the land, voices strong, together we stand. From the villages to the city lights, speaking the truth and shining the light. Young dreams rising in every heart, a brand new belief, Africa's future we will. Hear the voices calling loud and clear, a generation without fear. Hope and truth will lead the way, Africa people light it. his people. With courage and truth we lead the way. Africa rising day by day. ISTV. Let the nation see the power of truth and dignity. Together we stand, together we build. Africa's promise now fulfilled. ISTV. Rise Africa. Rise. ISTV. Shine. Rise Africa. Still on Maris TV. Produced by my ass, the boss. The voice of tomorrow. Today.
Let me say thank you to our good and loving people, and we say welcome back to the Maris TV. Tonight, we are super excited to be here again with another edition on our Society and Nation Building Show. And tonight, we are here with a very interesting topic. And joining us tonight again is our own senior brother, Mr. Lee T. Gibson. Before we draft into the discussion tonight, let's welcome our own senior brother, Mr. Lee T. Gibson. Welcome to the Maris TV, and we are super excited to have you tonight with us. I think you are muted. You are muted. You are muted. Hello?
It's okay now?
Yeah. Of course, you are okay.
Oh, okay. So thank you, Myers. Good morning from my end to you. Good morning to the listening audience. So Maya, it's good to be here again tonight to to share our insight on the fascinating topic that that is very good for our society, for our young people, and for ourselves. So it's good to be here, and I look forward to having a very wonderful show tonight. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Lee T. Gibson. We are always excited having you for the level of knowledge we all join together to continue to impact not just people but every one of us as well. Through these things we try to learn a lot of things. You don't have to be in a particular field before you try to get a concept, basic concepts of that particular thing, right? And mostly our platform, we talk about things that affect our society tonight. And tonight we're looking at a very interesting topic, Mr. Lee T. Gibson. Tonight we're talking about integrity, doing the right thing when no one is watching. There are a lot of us, we normally, Mr. Lee T. Gibson, someone will tell you that I take a year to build myself, my character, my integrity. I won't just allow anyone to just speak, anything they want to speak about on it. There are people take their personality very, very serious, right? There are people who are so principle minded, right? They stand for what they stand for, right? Yes. But there are some people who pretend to be that kind of person, but at the end of the day, we say when no one is watching, who you are in that particular time, right? When you are being entrusted. Tonight we'll discuss a little bit, even though we are not going to talk about because this has to do with leadership tonight. Mr. Lee Gibson, when you are being given an opportunity to serve in a public office, yes, indeed, everybody saw you there, you were installed. But yes, said when no one is watching you, when there are certain things that come behind the scene, what do you do there? That's a question today we face in our society. And there are people who pretend today. So we want to discuss tonight, but let me start with you, my senior brother. Yes, said Mr. Lee. Uh, when you hear the thing about integrity, what immediately comes to your mind? Whenever you hear integrity, what comes to your mind, Mr. Lee T. Gibson? I think you are muted.
We have been discussing this, I think for let's say a couple of months. Oh, Can you hear me now?
Sure.
Oh, okay. So I say thank you again. Okay, thank you again, Myers, for this opportunity. We have been discussing this on this platform, integrity, leaderships, and ethical values and everything. So, when we talk about integrity is, doing the right thing, like you already stated, doing the right thing when no one is watching. That is, that is what we call, integrity. So holding fast to that moral value, that inner moral value, in in a public place where no one is watching. So when we talk about integrity, what comes to my mind is, valuing ourselves and valuing, what we stand for, what we ought to do, our goals and everything, in our professions, in our career, doing the right thing, when people are not watching, doing the right thing so that the right thing can be done, so that it can, help our society. So because mind you, some of the things that we do in secret, or when people are not watching, it also affects our society. We might not know. So even in our decisions, so we should not be, an eye service people, where we behave very good when people are watching us, but when people are not watching us, then you see us doing, the other way around. That's why sometimes, some people, when you hear people saying, "Oh, his hands was caught in a cookie jar," because it is because, when he noticed that no one was watching, he decided to do the wrong thing. But while doing it, he forgot to know that someone was watching. So always do the right thing in the right time, the right place, and everywhere, everything you do the right thing. So that is what we call integrity. When you are doing the right thing, when no one is watching.
Thank you so much, Mr. Liti Gibbs. When you are discussing this, is what came to my mind. A lot of times, mostly we found ourselves in the student community. You hear people making they are talking some things, right, when relating to academic. You hear them talking, right? But the question is,
Mhm.
when there is a time for exam, when these people are not around, they are not watching, what do you do that particular time? Is that cheating that make you to reach the exam? No. Sometimes we do it, but yes, still we talk to other people and we pretend, right? We pretend like, oh, we know all, we are so into this, we are so, another thing, Mr. Lee, we found out that a lot of us we behave so perfect. In a lot of things, we feel like we are so perfect, we are very straight. But the main thing tonight is when no one is watching, meaning when you are being left alone. Like you just stated, when, let's take for a practical example, when there is a document that have been given to you, and you know that you as a person, right, with the kind of integrity you show out there to people, right, they see you to be a person that you are so principle minded, like I stated before. But when certain things have been given to you to take a decision that will last, that people can say yes. But sometimes we mind, I don't know what comes to our mind sometimes, mostly in our generation, we young people, I don't know, there are certain things that fill our eyes. Like you said, mostly when you check people who are part of leadership today, a lot of times you find out that their hands are in a cookie jar, but yesterday they are still preaching good things. They are still behaving like they are principle minded people, but at the end of the day, you think, yeah, no, you don't see these things that they say they are. So tonight, like you stated, brother Lee, this
Can
are
you
you
hear
getting
me?
me? Yes, yeah, I'm hearing you. Are you getting me as well?
I can hear you.
I think you have to go and come back. Hmm. So a lot of times we say that we have integrities, we have these things, but a lot of times we don't have it because when no one is watching in our secret place, when we have been given certain things or certain tasks to do, we always seek our own interest. And because of this today, we are being a problem, not just us, but even to uh, our family. We are being embarrassment to our family, to our society, because we lack the thing called trust. And mostly when we talk about the thing of integrity tonight, we are talking about trust. We are talking about value, respect, character, more that moral values you carry. That's your integrity. That moral values you carry. Do you stand for it, right? Even some of us who are from you know, the religious side, right? Some of us who are from the religious side, right? Those values from our religious side. Do we carry these values still? Do we still value those things our religious people taught us or they are teaching us today? Do we value them? Do we stand for what it says to us? That has been the bigger problem in our society. And I hope tonight that after this conversation, many of us can try, right? Mr. Lee, I usually tell people it's not like we try to pretend that we are so perfect. We have our own for short, we do our own things, right? Yeah. But we talk about where you are being seen out there in a pretend form, you know, make the way that people thinks about you, the kind of view that people have about you. But we're saying that when you are being left alone in our secret place, right? You know, with everything we do, right? It's only God who sees all. Even when you say you're alone, God sees you whatever you do there. So only God can tell us that, oh yes, this person was the this person was the day. So what can we say when you are being left alone in our secret place, right? Let's look at this thing, right? That's it. I want us to discuss tonight. Is integrity something a person is born with, or is something that can be developed? Do we see integrity to be like you are born with it, or you are developed, you can develop it in a sense where some people can say, oh, with the kind of religious are from, this is what I was taught, right? There are some people can tell you that this is just our family nature. Family nature. This is just part of our nothing about it, just part of our family. So yes, that's what brought my attention to this particular question. Do you think people are born with integrity or they develop integrity?
Okay, am I live?
You are.
Uh, okay, so Myers, in my mind, I don't think one can be born with, with integrity. Is it possible that you may be born, or you can be born within an environment that holds, have value of integrity, like maybe your family, religious and everything, but you cannot be born with that integrity. You can be brought up in, in an environment that has, integrity values, that have moral values and everything. You can be brought up, you can be trained like that, but you cannot be born with it. And then even though you can be trained with that, to it left with the individual to, to exercise what he or she has learned over the past time, maybe from environment or from family or from religious and everything. So here's the thing: the thing about integrity is that is about the image that you show out there, whether it reflects on your character, whether it reflects on your actions, whether it reflects on your behavior. Because you cannot be showing the world a good image, about yourself, but in actuality, your actions is, is is conflicting the image that you are showing out there. Your behavior is quite different from what you are showing people, out there. So that's how many people live today. Like for example, on the social media, the last time we discussed on this platform, about social media presence and what have you, where we discover that some people, their identity on social media is quite different from, their actual identity in reality. So they show different things on social media. They impress people on social media. They look very big. They look very okay on social media, but in actuality, they are not what they are, claiming to be on social media. So that is not integrity. Integrity should be the image that you are putting out there for yourself, whether it is reflecting, whether it's truly reflecting on what has been shown about you. So we should also look at that. So holding fast to this is, what we call a moral value, holding fast to that value, the integrity and everything that maybe you were taught, or maybe, you were trained to. So you have to hold fast to that value. But in how much you start to deviate from, from your good image that you are shown out there, and you start to, maybe exhibit different attitude, that is not integrity. For example, in my community, I won't let to mention there, but I would just say, without making, mention of the person name, one of the chairmen in one of our community in Simple Bridge. He was voted upon and he won the election. But guess what? This guy, he's a criminal in nature. So he show himself out there to the voters that, oh yes, I'm like this, I'm like that, and what have you. And in fact, his platform, he had a very beautiful platform to convince people to vote for him. But other people that were, that knew this guy very well, they told people that this guy is a criminal in nature. But because of what he could manage to tell the people out there, how well he managed to present himself, the image he saw himself with, people voted him in power. So, and the problem of behavior or attitude and or character, it doesn't have, no matter how you polish yourself, you present yourself, in a space of time, it will stay showed up. Once that is your true color, that is your true character, your true behavior. So this guy, people voted him. After he won the election, guess what? He started robbing people. He started using his office to rob people. There was a lady who wanted to rent an apartment. He went and presented himself as a caretaker of the a particular house, and he robbed this lady. So he started to come out. So the people in the community now, they are very angry. So they want to impeach him. So other people were saying that, but we told you people that this guy is a criminal in nature. But because he came, he used a beautiful words, his, in Liberia, once you use a big grammar, people say, oh, the man, well educated, he's good. They don't even care about whether you have that character, to uphold that public office, or whether you have that, that moral, integrity to guard the responsibility of that office. So for that reason now, they put behind to resign or they impeach him. So what we are saying, if you are showing different image out there, it should reflect on your character or on your behavior. So that's it, Miles.
Yeah, you just said it right. That a lot of us sometimes we feel like we are born with the thing of integrity. We develop these things, like you said previously. But sometimes when we develop these things, we try to deviate from them. Like that individual you talked about, maybe there are a lot of mentorship he went through, but at a certain point of times, he decided like I think I can play my own tactics because that's what suffered our country today. And we will try to discuss some of these issues because um, we have to look at it very seriously, Mr. Lee. We there are laws and ethics that you learned, right? But what happens after you have learned these laws and ethics, you have to go and implement whatever it says. It tells you that you don't show partiality, no matter. Let's take for example, you have one time we had a question in the class and we're debating about, hey, you have your uncle who came to the hospital and you have this other patient that you don't know, right? But mind you, this patient that you don't know, this person came before your uncle, and you are the only person at that particular place now, right? And there's your uncle, right? He's in a critical condition. This person is also in a critical condition, but this person came before your uncle. And the thing was, who are you going to choose, or who are you going to serve first? And the thing is, in the medical field, is first come, first serve. Sometimes you leave it based on emergency cases, but yes, the two of them carry the same thing, right? They are all emergency patients. So who are you going to choose first? We have that rock and roll, and it's like if you choose your uncle, you're gonna be that kind of person that's gonna be barriers, right? Meaning you have broken the oath that you have taken already, because it is not how it works. You understand it? And this is what happened in our society today, Mr. Lee T. Gibson. Whenever we have taken an agreement to do certain things, we made the public believe in us. We made people to have that high expectation of us. That's why you see, Mr. Lee, right? When it comes to our religious side, you see the kind of expectation some of our people can give to the congregation, or the group of people. The day you understand that they make mistakes, because they behave like they don't make mistakes at all. They are from heaven straight led to earth, right? So the day they make mistakes, do you know what happened now? How many souls sometimes have been lost? And to get these people back on board, you know how many years it takes? It takes a lot of time because it forms a manner we show to people like, oh, this person is a good person. We are the only perfect people. We don't make mistakes. We don't make anything called error. Error is not part of our lives. And which of course, Mr. Lee, like you said, we develop these things. Sometimes we make mistakes. Sometimes we err, right? It's real. Sometimes we err because it's something that you develop, right? And you wasn't born with it. It is now something that part of the nature. You develop it. So what happens sometimes? You will make mistakes, right? Usually we say that whenever you need an advice, the best person to go to is those people who have failed before, right? And also they are succeed. Because why you go to this person who have failed before, or these people, sorry, because these people they understand when they feel there are other tactics and other things that they use before they try to succeed. So when you go to them, right, they're going to tell you that this is how it happens to me. This is how it happens. But I'm saying this to say a lot of times we feel like we are born with perfection, that we cannot make mistakes. And at the end of the day, when we make these mistakes, it becomes problem now for our society. It makes us now society things different. Let's take for example, I want to bring it in today because it's something that is very, very serious. Look at our country right now. There are few individuals who show that they were fighting drugs. In our country, they show people believe in them that yes, indeed, they were able to do this. But mind you, now they were just running behind those people who were just having, I don't know how to call it, right? Those ones who are just taking it. They key people who are doing it. They were in connection with them for their personal interest. And you see how it goes? So they pretend to us that they have integrity, but when no one sees them at night time, they have another thing that they do. And that's why today our country are on the wrong trajectory. Our country are falling in the hands of people that we don't expect because the forms and manner people behave. So I hope that we will understand that yes, indeed, we are all humans. We create the thing of integrities, right? But it is so essential that what you have created or what you are showing to people out there, when nobody is watching you, like you said, you should try to be committed. See what happened to the chairman. He pretended to the people like he's a very nice person, and everybody was like, yes. And we have some past officials who behave like that before, right? They pretended to people like they were so nice, and people say, okay, let's give them the space. And what happened? They may use the space until the people say got angry with them. And that's why our country today, we always want to start with Liberia. That's why today we are always been struggling the thing of leadership today. Because a lot of people we bring to power, they pretend to us like, they have integrity. But deep down, they are bunch of, I don't know how to call it. Yeah, we must say that that's the reality about it. It might sound so hard, but we have to say that today. Because our country needs to move from where it is to get on a rightful path. And how can we do that? It's a thing of integrity. Why you see it? Mr. Lee, you know what I will respect you for? When you tell me, say, Miles, this is what I'm going to do. And that's what you are doing every time. I know that, yes, indeed, that Mr. Lee is a man of his word. But the day you try to deviate from it, what happened? What comes to my mind? No, I think he just say it, man, because he was like, in that motion and what have you. But I think he means another thing. So that's why we are here tonight to talk about the issue of integrity. But let's go to another question that we can discuss tonight, Mr. Lee. Uh, do, can you tell us some differences, right? Yeah, do you think a person can be successful without having an integrity, and why or how? Can you tell us tonight?
Yeah, please, can you go back because I didn't get you. There was,
Okay. So yeah, say, do you think that someone can be successful, right, without having integrity, and how?
Okay. So yeah, in my mind, I believe so. In fact, if we look at the scale, most of those people that are successful, not all, but if you look at most of them, they don't have integrity. That is why they are successful in our dispensation. Because, for example, you might find someone who is doing business and they are exceeding in that business, they are prospering in that business, but they are robbing their customers. They are not honest. They are not earning, a honest, a profit. So at the end of the day, they are progressing financially very fast, rapidly. So in fact, in our world today, in a dispensation, we kind of are like into team. people that are not very honest. We just look at the physical appearance of people, how well they, they appear and how well they dress, and how well they present themselves. They sell themselves out there. We classify them as being successful people, or being, people with integrity. So nowadays, they war. We don't give much, attention to people who have that moral value, who have that integrity and everything. So I believe in our dispensation right now, people with no integrity, they are prospering. Let's look at even in the politics. Look at in the politics. If you can see some elderly people in politics, they will be spitting out lies. You know that it is a complete lies, but they will defend it. They will present it as if it is, it is real. Even when something happened, they will come out and they will defend. They will, even in the legal field, you will find lawyers defending something that he or she knows fully well that this thing is against the state, or is against the law. But because that lawyer wants to win that case, or that lawyer wants to represent his or her client, which is not bad, but you will see that person bending the law in his favor or in her favor, just so that, they can win that case. So that is not integrity. So at the end of the day, once they have presented all of those lies, all of those, or evidence to support their lies, and they win that case, you see this, oh, this man, this person is a good lawyer. So you see them progressing in their profession, because they don't have that moral value, they don't have that integrity, and for that reason, they are succeeding in whatever they are doing, but there is no moral value. So there is no upright, or behavior in their actions. So they are progressing. So if you ask me, I'll say yes, in our dispensation. In fact, most people that have moral integrity, moral value, in order to succeed, they are very slow. It's, their success is going very slow, because they stand for the truth, they stand for what they believe in, and they stand for integrity. So that's why they are not rushing to somersault their progress, their success. So they are taking it very easy, and try. For example, you and myself today, they got young people who they went and forged documents that they went to the best of school. They went and presented fake credentials. While you and myself, we passing through the ring and files of, of our educations, whether that 4 years for bachelor, 3 years, 2 year masters. We are going through it because we don't just want to have something, because, twinkle of an eye, we say, oh, I have a master's degree, I have a bachelor degree. We are going through it, and we are progressing step by step. But those people, some of them, they are in society, they holding BP position. The last time you saw Martin Colley, he said to expose some people. So you see, they were already progressing, because some of them, based on those fake credentials, they got big jobs. But for you and say, we decided not to take that route. So yes, people with no integrity, they are progressing today in our dispensation.
You was talking, and as soon as you started it, this is what that came to my mind. So days ago, I was checking our chat room. I'm not going to call an individual name, right? So you know the Crown Vita. I'll just bring it this right. The person, because they took the Crown Vita from Liberia and they brought it to India. Imagine Crown Vita in Liberia. Everybody as they say is 500 liberty. Imagine the person is selling the $10 US. And they are going
So
to
you
succeed in that, right? Because you
yeah.
know, Liberians, this is why I gave our kids, right? They are going to succeed in that thing. But do you think that success is going? Do you think that business is going to last long?
No.
Automatically. So what I wanted to say is, there are a lot of people again. Another thing I wanted to bring to our mind. There are a lot of people who cajole people out there and tell them that when you come to the country, everything will be fair, only because they want commission. But at the end of the day, they take people who their parents are not able to even sustain the family for a day. They cajole them in the name of if you can, everything's gonna be okay. And then the person comes only because you need a commission of 500. And imagine, Mr. Litty Gibson, when I was in Rwanda, there was a guy who told me his story. That guy, he was cajoled that there was a job in Rwanda, everything was just okay by one of his friends. And when the guy came to Rwanda, imagine Mr. Litty Gibson, his expectation was so bad. That guy had to sell his motorbike. That guy parents had to go extra mile crediting money from people because when their son arrived there, everything gonna be fine. He's gonna pay back and what have you. In fact, when the guy came, it wasn't really the bad part about it, but the guy did not took back for 2 days
Wow.
because the apartment the guy rented for the individual, they had how you call it, they tank up, right? There was no water in it,
Hmm.
and the guy did not take back for 2 days. And the individual I'm
Wow.
talking about, when he having a conversation with you, you will be like, wow, this guy is very good. But you see the kind of perceptions that we create about him. And when we try to listen to that, he was a big brother that really used to love, and like when we having conversation, and somebody said that one is very small. There are other big one that he been doing. And I was like, you see how we do ourselves for little or nothing. But here's a question: having no kind of money, right? How long will it take you? A short-term success, that's what you want. That's what happened in our country today, Mr. Lee. A lot of people today they are former rich people because everything they got was on a short-term thing. They did not go to the referral channel to get it. They did not go to the referral channel. Like you talk about the student community today. These are things that have been affecting us today. Why, duplicating degree and carrying it to entity, like, and at the end of the day, they start to make money. And there are some entity when they do 12 investigation, these people lost their job, and what happened at the end of the day. Now that's why, Mr. Lee, another thing that comes now, we start to blame family members. We try to look for people who been suppressing our lives. We try to say all kind of things. But mind you, in yourself, you know that when everybody leave that thing, you're talking in yourself, right? That's what we talk about. When no one sees you, you know in yourself that why you presented to get a particular thing wasn't a right thing that you presented to get a thing. So do you expect it to last long? That's why our society today continue to face problem, because we young people, we want to get a fast success. We want to get it very fast, and it doesn't last. Like you said, it doesn't last. It doesn't last. So there is no easy way in this to conclude this. There is no easy forms to success. You must pass through it. Mainly, you must say as students here. That's why I can tell some people today, don't come and see our faces are being found on the internet. We're just doing this because they are passion we have for it, because we want people to be alive about these things that happen in our society. We go through the same thing sometimes. We pass through a lot sometimes as students, studying in another man's country where you don't work, you don't do anything. You have to wait for another man's pocket for something to come from there. If the parent doesn't send it for you to even get a toothpaste, you don't get it. You pass through a lot. You passing through it only because you want to get success in raffle forms. But imagine there are some people will come, they won't even do anything like that. But at the end of the day, you see them succeeding. That's why, Mr. Lee, another thing I want to bring to your mind, and I don't want to, that's a reality about it, right? You see a lot of young people today, they're taking success another way because they feel like they have struggle, even though they don't want to complete that struggle, but they feel like I've struggled, and struggle. You feel like, oh, he have getting tired, he have getting exhausted while he with life. He feel like life have forgetting about him, and he try to do things that are not necessary for himself. And you find out that last thing he do is he try to do things that are not necessary for himself. So I hope that today we can look at these things of getting the thing of fast success. That there's no easy way to success no matter what. Yeah, you have to pass through it. So another thing today, Mr. Lee, we want to discuss. I want us to talk about what does it actually means doing the right thing when no one is watching. What do those statement means? Doing the right thing when no one is watching.
Yeah, okay. So like I made mention of it earlier on that, you know, when you want to do the right thing, you should, have that moral value. You should, you should be someone who is, you know, who is embodying what he or she has placed out there to the public, to be seen. So if you have any other, character that maybe you want to suppress it by lies, to the public, and which of course you have not worked on those characters, and you just try to present a false image, a good image about yourself. So it's going to show up, like I said. So actually, doing the right thing when no one is watching is standing by your moral value. What you stand, for. What are your philosophy in life? Are you someone who loves cheating, or in business, in whatever? Are you someone who love to do some cover up when it comes to some bad stuff? Are you someone who can undermine people? Are you someone who can envy people? And all the stuff. And then at the end of the day, you want to cover up. You want to present yourself differently to the public. So if you have that moral value, that okay, I'm somebody that I cannot hold breath, or I cannot compromise even when people are not watching, and then you try to exhibit that characters that will make you not to compromise, even if it is a little thing. Once it is against your moral value, you should not compromise. So that is what we describe as having that integrity or that moral value when no one is watching, because you cannot just behave good in public, and at the end of the day, in cover, you are not what you are seen to be out there. So we should also, that is what I said, your inner life, your secret life, it should reflect on what you have presented out there, your image that you have presented out there. Like, you have presented yourself to be somebody who has that moral character, who has that moral value. And but in real life, you don't have no moral value, you don't have no moral at all. You can do anything, anytime, any hour, without having moral value.
Hello, Mr. Lee, are you here? Hello, Mr. Lee, are you here? So tonight is a very great discussion, and we are here tonight talking about integrity, doing the right thing when no one sees you. And it's very, very interesting tonight. And we ask a question of what does it actually means to do the right thing when no one is watching? And it's something that is very, very interesting. And you are just giving some emphasis, right? A lot of times we the way we show ourselves to people in the public space when it comes to our own time of taking certain decision at the perfect time, we don't stand for what we say to people out there, and which of course people have an account on us. Listen, do you know why people believe? Because everything you do in the secret, one day it's going to come out. That's the reality of our lives. Everything you do behind the scenes, one day it's going to come up. There's nothing live there forever. So when no one is watching, it is essential, right, that you try to stand for what you say to people, because people don't take, listen, there are some people just take your words for granted, but there are some people don't take it for granted. Yeah, there are people don't take it for granted, right? There are people respect us for what we say out there. So they expect us that behind the scene, we must try to implement what we say, right? So it is very important, it is very essential as an individual. Whatever you say out there, when no one sees you, when you are in a place where no one is watching, you must be able to do whatever you say on that particular thing when it comes to making certain decisions. Because if you don't do that, that's why people lost relevant in us. And I said previously, that's why we have been facing the challenges when it comes to our country at large. Because let's take for example, uh, when once election comes, there are a lot of our brothers or our sisters who come out there and they say they're going to do this, they're going to do that, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. But the day they have been given that opportunity to serve, What happens after sometimes it becomes serious problem. It becomes serious problem. They are no longer living by their words. The next thing they try to say, like my money. You remember we had a lawmaker before in our place that we're not going to call a name, but that's the reality about it, right? Who told the people he was going to do that, you are going to do that? At the end of the day, the people voted him and gave him a trust. What happened at the end of the day? He said that his money made him win because he had reached to where everything has been okay for us. So brother Lee, like I said to you previously, whatever you say to people, they don't take it for granted. They remind you, even years to pass, they will remind you that remember you said you are this person. Why are you changing now? Right? So when no one sees you, you must always try to put yourself to why you say to people out there. And the thing is, when no one sees our brother Lee, uh, we go to church, right? And we preach the word of God. Some of us we are choir members, we are this, we are that, we are. But brother Lee, here's a question: everybody there sees us in our particular space, right? When we shall have leave that particular place and get to our little corner, what do we do? That's a question. Do we still practical life those things that we say to people out there? I remember one time when I was in high school, I usually used to preach on some of the chapel services. So I had one of my senior brother that I usually call a father. He's Albert Stewart, bro. So one day I preached a message, and right after I preached the message, he was like, "When I see you make any mistakes, trust me, I would definitely deal with you because I think you preach like why you gonna follow and we're coming up. That's why I was like saying I was like okay because he because the word I have spoke out there, he's not taking it for granted. He feel like whatever you say to people out there, it should reflect on you as a person as well, right? We usually say when you carry one finger, the banana fork come back to you, right? So what you say out there to people, that's why uh, people usually say to us, be very careful with your choice of words because people hold you accountable for whatever you say. Tomorrow, when no one sees you when you are doing something, brother Lee, before you came out saying something previously, we'll go to our next question. Listen, when you are doing something there, when you feel like no one sees you, brother Lee, no matter how it take years, one day that particular thing gonna show. No matter how it goes long. Yeah. We live in a world that we say technology advanced now, right? And you stated previously, let's talk about the social media aspect. There are a lot of times you see people present themselves out there right, very cool on the social media. You feel that wow, this person is like this person is like this, right? But the thing is, when nobody is watching the social media, those things you said to them, is that why you are practicalizing? Is that why you are doing? No, we go contrary from it. And I remember the other time we had a show, you were saying something that similar thing that don't not everything you see on social media for somebody you take it serious because people's social media lives is quite different from their offline thing they do. It's quite different. There are two different things there. So if you want to know that whether this person is doing the rightful thing on social media, comes to their private life and see and compare it whether it's in line or not. So I hope that we try to understand these things. Brother Lee, this is a very interesting question that I want us to look at tonight, right? And yes, it, Brother Lee. If nobody knows about it, does doing the right thing still matters when no one know about it? Brother Lee, nobody
Yeah.
know about it thing.
Can you hear me?
Nobody know about it. Yeah, yeah. Are you getting me right? Even
Okay,
brother
yeah, I'm
Lee don't
hearing
even,
you.
even brother Lee don't even know about it thing. Even my parents don't know about it thing, right? Does it really matter? And yes, it does doing the right thing still matter when nobody knows about it? Why is it sometimes harder to do the right thing privately? That's our question tonight to you. When no one knows about it, and why you think doing the right thing privately is still good?
Yeah, so can you hear me? Okay,
So,
so Mara, I think the problem here is that many of us, maybe all of us, we have our image or images that we have placed out there. So for that reason, we tend to value those images that we have placed out there. in the public. So we tend to, to protect them. So at the end of the day, doing the right thing, even in secret, it becomes very difficult for us because we have image to protect, and we have, all of the good thing to protect, that the good thing that we have placed out there. So here's the thing: doing the right thing in secret pays a lot because it gives you that inner peace, and it gives you, stability. It makes you consistent in everything, because if you have done the right thing in secret, even in public, you will reflect it in your character, in your behavior, and everything. Because it will not be like something that you have done and you trying to pretentiously, or pretend in front of people because you have done the wrong thing. So you're trying to pretend. But once you do the right thing, that's why even if you have said the truth, even if you are sleeping and they wake you up, and to ask you, you are going to say the same thing that you said, because what, that's the truth that you said. So you are not going to be, fretting on words or thinking what to say because you have lied earlier on. So we have to do the right thing in secret. Doing the right thing in secret is very important because it protects our integrity and protects everything. But it is because we want to live our life, for the public. Once you start to seek public validations, or you start to seek public impressions, it causes a lot of problem. I will tell you a story. Many people in the Bible, they fell short of that. The last time I was reading about, Ananias and Sapphira. Why were they killed? Because they lied. When we were coming out in elementary, we were told that, they lied. That's why God killed them. But what about even Peter himself, who was the man of God at that time? You remember Peter also lied before because he denied Jesus. Why is it that other people lie, but God did not kill them, but only Ananias and Sapphira? So I discovered that it was not just the lie that made God to kill, those two people. It was because they presented a false impression in the public, in the church. They presented themselves like they have completed surrender to the Holy Spirit, that they have been converted, they have accepted the Holy Spirit, the Word of God, and the Word of God has changed their life. So they presented themselves as a new people or new person in the sight of God. So for that reason, they started to seek public validation. So when they went and sold the land, they went and kept some of the money. That's why when they came back, Peter was not actually, his focus was not actually on the money. That's why he asked them. He said the land was not yours, the money was not yours. You could have made a decision right there to decide not to bring the money. But because you have already presented yourself in the public, that you have been ordained, that you have been baptized, that you are holy, and you are a changed person, and your heart is not changed. So you cannot come and you know that you have not surrendered your heart to God, but you present it to the public that you have been surrendered. So you have sold your land, therefore you brought all of the money, which of course you have kept some. So that's why Peter told them, why have you allowed Satan to fill your heart? It is because they seek public validation. That was their focus. They want to be seen in the church. They wanted to be seen in the church that, okay, the word of God came and have transformed our life. We are therefore changed. We have changed from, we are no longer, what we used to be. They were not changed. It was not forced. Once your heart is not surrendered, you don't force to do something, all of the way because you want for people to look at you and say, oh, look at these people, they have been changed by the word of God. It happened in our church today. Some of us, in our real churches, we do things for public validation. In our churches, sometimes we dress as if we are holy. We dress while we are going to church, we dress holy. But in our daily life, we are not holy. When we go to the church, when the pastor preaching, we present ourselves as if to say we have changed. Or when the pastor is preaching, sometimes there are some message that are directed, coming to us, but we try to send it to other people. We make ourselves look like we have been changed. We are not into that attitude, in which of course our heart is not surrounded. So that's what I said. Public validation. If you focus on public validation, what people will say, what people will talk about you, how people will see you to be, my brother, you are going to make the end of the day, you are going to see yourself doing the wrong thing, taking the wrong decision, Once it is the right thing, whether everybody will go against you, be like Monica at the gate, who never bowed down, not because everybody around him were bowing down to, to him, and so meaning therefore he should bow down. No, be that one person who will stand up for the truth, who will stand up for moral value, who will stand up for integrity, because it will pay tomorrow. At the end of the day, you will not have any other thing, to protect, to say, okay, I have lied before, I have to protect this lie I have told before. So we have to be careful with that too. Public validation. Thank you, Myers.
You said something. I'm going to say this, and I know people who watching going to see it that kind of way, and that's the reality about it. You remember the kind of saga that went on a few times in our country there, where one of our brothers
Yeah,
said God told him about going and waking up. You know what I'm trying
their
to say,
body,
right?
their body.
See
Yeah, yeah, I
what
know,
see
I know.
what happens, right? You know, like you said, brother Lee, the thing of the popular validation business, the popular thing. We want to be seen in the public. And most of this thing has to do with our religious side today. That's why you see sometimes, a lot of times you go and even talk to people about church building, they will tell you, you're Leo, yeah. And sometimes it is not like we are not trying to back them for what it says. Oh, you're Leo. Because everyone should know God for themselves, right? You cannot just come up and just make people to, like the kind of feelings you gave the family. Do you know the kind of belief you gave the family? Do you know the kind of impression you have put the family on? Do you know how you have placed the family? Do you know the kind of things you have done? And at the end of the day, you say it was late. You know, there are some of us we just go to sleep sometime and we see something passing before our face. We say that God said. And I know sometimes God in his own corner can just be watching sometimes. He won't. And when I look on, there's a comment. Normally, it's good to go to the comment section. So there's a girl
Mhm.
who said in the comment section, she was like, God, let you tell, and please can't bring the word to end because this one is too much. Why can you give people that kind of, that kind of feelings? That kind of feeling, why can you make people to believe that kind of things, right? And you know that there are a lot of young people who believe in you, that anything that you do is not going to reflect on their lives and even you as a person. But do you see why it causing our country today? Do you see the kind of feelings that people have now? It will take people time to get over what have happened. You cannot give people that kind of perception because you want a fame, you want to be seen. And imagine an individual just stay on the internet bombarding everybody that comes after him, justifying.
That's
Why?
what happened.
Why should why you want to justify, right? And that's why I sometimes when I talk to some of my colleagues back home, like, bro, they think you're very very careful because the thing is Mr. Lee, that's why we are talking about integrity. You are not born with it, but rather you develop it. And how do you develop it? Some of these things comes with mentorship. When I talk to some of them today, I say, brother, they think of the young today, Mr. Lee T. Gibson, they don't want to go on that mentorship. They feel like once they can read the scripture and try to understand one or two things now, they blow already. Once they can see information on internet and you see, yeah. But sometimes forget about that thing like we said. In that little corner when no one is there, those kind of things they do. At the end of the day, there are a lot of them with the leading games. We're not trying to say we are so perfect, but a lot of them who put themselves to them when you see them talking on the microphone, you see them doing this. Check behind them. You know what I'm talking about, leading games. Check behind them.
Mhm.
They are
Yeah,
damn certain error in that place. Their character, the thing they are saying to people there is quite different from what they do on a daily basis. But they
Yes,
pretend to
Maya.
people, right?
To just add up to what you are saying on incidents, when it happened, I was like, okay, God can actually work miracle, right? He can raise the dead and everything. It can even
Of
happen right
course,
now. But you
of
know
course,
why
yes, yes.
in our case, do you know why such a thing didn't happen? It is because the way in which he presented it and he did it for public validation, for public attention. And God is not going to do something that his glorification is going to be, it's going to be given to an individual, to somebody.
To
No,
men.
that's not.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah, man, that's
Yeah.
not how God works. If God has spoken to him, say, "Oh, okay, uh, my son, I want to raise this person from there. I want to do this." Just go there and do what you need to do. Just forget about Facebook, forget about posting previously or whatever. Go there, carry on the tasks that the Holy Spirit has told you to do. And if that lady, is raising from dead, the glory is going to go to God. The glory, God is going to be glorified. That's how God works. But if you start to like seek public validation, we you are always going to mix the marking. I can give you name of several people or in the Bible that went astray because they derailed from the true faith because of public validation. I can tell you hundreds of of them. So if you just, that's what I say. I don't live a life for the public. Don't live a life to impress the public. You always derail from the truth. You always derail from your moral values, and you always derail from integrity because you are doing it for people to see you, for people's attention to be directed to you. So at the end of the day, you have to do something. You have to do something to cover up so that people can look up to you. So that's just what happened. That's my take on that.
So, just before we go to another question, so certain time I found myself in a cycle where, barely I was putting under pressure to do what I never developed. I was like, I was putting under pressure, right? Those things that I don't know anything about, that I feel like it is not part of me, right? I was putting under pressure to do it. And one day I said to myself, but I'll just be pretending. Yes, indeed, I can develop it, but I feel like this particular thing, I'll be like, in our own lab, where we say you faking it to make it. So I always tell those individuals who will bring it, I said, listen, it is always good to be who you are. That thing of copy and pasting thing, right? You want to copy from somebody. Yeah, sometimes it is good, right? To take certain things from people, right? But there are certain things that you know that do not match with your genetic, right? Don't try to do it. One is not in line with what you stand for or what you go for, right? Don't try to do it because you will just be doing it on a short-term note. And at the end of the day, you would definitely try to, if that thing doesn't carry you, at the end of the day, you become a different person in society. So I was always like, I should do this, I should do that, I should do that. I'm like, but this is not who am I. Why should I always try to do things that even my mind is not even telling me, right? And like you said, sometimes we just see things and want to do it quick, quick, right? Sometimes, right? Yeah, we just see things and want to do it quick, quick, right? See what happens, Mr. Lee. And my issue is, do you know how many people? Do you know the kind of feelings that people have gotten? Imagine, I listened to one guy. He was like breaking some narrative. Or he said, imagine you taking your time from your house. Nobody call you. Nobody call you. You walk into your house and came to the people place and say you should go to the place there. Can you think about that? Why are you trying? And you wasn't just doing it like off the internet, but every step you reach, you want to show to the internet the people that like you said, the popular validation. That's what we look for. And only to love a few hours, the waiting will see it was late. Why can you be doing this thing? Why are you trying to grab? Yeah, somebody can say God had a lot of switch. That there are a lot of people who not beating will be different. But we'll leave that for another time because we just be there are a lot of people who not beating will be different, Brother Lee. But let's go to this, right, Brother Lee. Here's another thing that we want to talk about tonight. Um uh what are some situations where people are most tempted to compromise their integrity because they believed nobody will find out? What are some things that you think, Brother Lee?
There are several things. Like sometimes it will be
Brother
money.
Lee,
Like maybe
yeah, tell us some.
Money could be the major factors, but yeah, money could be the major factors. I think that's the reason why the scripture says, the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. Money could be the center, factors of those several things I'm talking about. Because sometimes you might find somebody doing things, doing things that they feel no one is watching, right? And they want to place, they want to take something like they want to overly charge, or they want to take something. Even various places where transactions are done in cash. Sometimes when people, when they look around, no one is watching. They take some money and put it. Even in our churches in Liberia, sometimes those that are in the financial department, maybe the ushers that are taking care of the
The
finance.
people who count the money, eh?
Good, yeah. Sometimes when people are not looking, they take something and something. There was a man of God who was preaching, and he said he went and put an offering in the basket, and he marked the money. And after the money
Let's
was
sell
submitted,
it. You can see the
yeah,
money.
we put it. The money that identical US dollars that was placed in to the offering basket, it was not found because somebody took the money. So because while they took the money, people were not washing, nobody was washing. So they look around, no one washing again. You know,
So,
they,
so for that one you can look, left, you look right, you look
yeah.
front,
So
you look
you
back,
look
you
for, you
look.
look back.
But we can forget to look. We can forget to look up. But what happens there?
You will never look up, because even if you look up, you will not see something, but somebody is watching you. That is God. So, so they will look around, there's something like that, boop, they take the money. So another thing again would be relationship wise. You might not be faithful to your partner, and maybe you notice that your partner is not watching you, or is not monitoring you, or not really focusing on you. So you decide to cheat. So you decide
The
to go
most
have
importantly,
another affair
the most
outside.
important
Yeah.
the thing of distant relationship, right? The person is
Good.
waiting like bro, you are in
Like
the Asian
different
part.
countries.
Yeah.
Oh, so because you know that that person is not around, is not watching, and you try to do whatever that you want to do because the person is not around. So those are some of the things, doing things that you that will benefit you temporarily, and people are not watching. I will place it that way, because anything that you do with sinister motives, it has short terms, short term benefits. So those benefits might come with a lot of consequences. Yeah, I will tell you a story about a girl who, she got pregnant, and her partner was not in the country. She got pregnant, and she attempted to go and abort the pregnancy. So all of the places that she went, they told her the same story. They told her that if you attempt to abort this baby, your life is going. So at the end of the day, she was coerced to keep that pregnancy. And how will she keep a pregnancy when this guy is in constant communication with her? So you see what happened right there, because the guy was not watching, and he was not there to see what was going on. She was pretending. So at the end of the day, this
This
big
story,
disgrace
this
came to
story,
her
is
face.
this story is a good story.
Yeah, yeah. So it was something that she could not handle again. So what she needed to do now was just, you know, it was very shameful. She couldn't even come out to this guy and tell this guy that she's pregnant, because it was very disgraceful and shameful. So at the end of the day, this guy had to get a story from another source, from another people. So you see what we're talking about. So that's why we're talking about upholding your moral value. If, for example, that's for me, I got a philosophy. Few, I would just, like, for example, I've always told myself, I say, even if I'm looking for a wife or something, I will never go beyond or marry a woman. That is something I've said to myself, and I've been living to that, to to that standard. So there are other things I would say I will never get this credential. I will never fake credential. I will never do this. These are some of the things that you should stand, you should say to yourself in your life, and you should stand by it. And you should try to live up to those things. So that's why we talk about moral integrity and moral value. So when you have those things in your life and you are observing them fully, even when somebody is not watching, you don't have, there is no need for somebody to be watching you. You will still have that character, you will stay embody that, that behavior, that not because somebody is watching or not, but because it's something that you stand for, and you are not willing to compromise when it comes to that issue. So most of the time, some people too, they can compromise because of the short-term benefit. You are compromising because you get 30 USD, all that stuff, you get the other one. You are compromising in your relationship because that other partner will bring some, benefits, will bring some enjoyment, other thing. You are compromising all those things just because of short-term benefits. So we don't have to wait for people to be watching us. That's what I said. If you do so, then meaning you are pretending, your image you are presenting out there, it does not reflect on your character, your your behavior. Let somebody stand in the gap and say, or on your behalf and say, this person, I trust this person has integrity, this person has moral and everything. But if you don't do that, people will, people will just look at it and say, well, this person is not who he or she is actually claiming to be. So we have to look at some of those things. Don't wait for for people to look at you before you can live a better life. You can also have your own value that you can list, that okay, this is a red flag for me. I will not do it in my life. I will not do this. I will not do that. You start to live up to those things. That's what make you, who you are. So that's my take on the question.
Let me say a very big thank you to you, Mr. Leety Gibson, for that wonderful time we are spending here today. And I hope that all of us who are watching tonight, we are learning something right on integrity, right? And when no one sees us, what are those things that we do? And Brother Lee have stated and given us a lot of practical example, and we are all here for that tonight. You know, Brother Lee, one of the things we talk about previously was exams. We feel like no one. Brother Lee, there are some people that think of cheating and they're in their blood. They think
Yeah,
of
of
cheating.
course.
Exams. Every exam should they make sure and go there, yeah, in the name of they just want to. And and you might feel like you are doing good thing for yourself, but tomorrow when you shall be given a space and nobody is there to help you, how are you going to make it? There where your problem are going to start from. So, like we talked about previously, we were talking about long term and short term success. So that's a short term thing you are doing because you want to make the marks, right? So you feel like I can do anything to do it because, I don't know, like I was asking why a lot of us we are afraid of the thing they call failure. Yes, uh, no one wishes to fail, but whenever it comes, you learn from that mistakes. You create another tactics that you can be successful on the other side. But a lot of time because of that, we do all negative things. All the negative things we put that energy, right? So there's a thing I usually ask somebody, right? The time you take to take up this particular paper and you write on it little by little and take you think when you take that little time to read something, you think something will not lead you? Something will lead there, you'll be able to write something. But only because you are pre-set your mind that you will continue to do the thing just to make sure that you cannot be a failure. And it's very bad today. Our society are being affected by that. That's why you see today, brother Lydia, people go for interview, there are little question that they have been asked and they cannot say anything regarding that because of what you did. You wasn't putting your time to do it. At the end of the day, now here is where you have to prove yourself one on one. You cannot say anything, and that's why our society today we need to change the minds. Like I usually say to a lot of people, brother Lee, while we are building our country, let's also build the minds of us because if the minds is not being built with knowledge, once somebody will sit down and you just see people start destroying whatever good things that we have made only because the mind, the way we think, the thing of negative energy. A lot of us we had that negative. We have energy to do negative things, but to do the positive one is difficult for us. You said it in the thing of money issue. A lot of us we are not trustful in money. When people give us the little chance, we see that opportunity. That this is an opportunity for me. I think I need to make use of it. But at the end of the day, nobody sees you. But in the long term, everything you do there's going to come after you. So let's take a 1 minute break. And once we get back, we're going to take one question and we take our closing statement and then we call it a night.
Africa, rise! Africa, speak! Africa, tell your story! This is the voice of the people! Mothers TV! The future is now! Africa, rise! Across the land, voices strong, together we stand. From the villages to the city lights, speaking the truth and shining the light. Young dreams rising in every heart, a brand new story about to start. Through every struggle we still believe, Africa's future we will achieve. Hear the voices calling loud and clear, a generation without fear. Hope and truth will lead the way, Africa rising day by day. My ass TV, the voice of the people, lighting the future across every steeple. From Liberia to Africa wide, truth and vision will be our guide. My ass TV, let the whole world see stories of hope and dignity. One united Africa today, rising stronger every day. Who tells Africa's story? Who give the youth a voice? Who stands for truth and unity? Africa, Africa rising. Through the lands we tell the truth, empowering, grooming, inspiring you. Voices once silent now are heard. Every story, every word. Bridging tomorrow with lessons of today, showing the world a brighter way. From every nation the message grows. Africa stronger, the whole world knows. Let the drums of freedom play, a brighter Africa on the way. Through justice, knowledge, unity, we build tomorrow for all must come to shine. Rise, Africa, rise, rise, Africa, rise. Your time has come to shine. TV, the voice of the people, lighting the future across every steeple. With courage and truth we lead the way. Africa rising day by day. TV.
Okay, let me say welcome back to our loving people wherever you are following us from. Welcome back. Welcome tonight. We are here tonight discussing integrity, and our topic is integrity when no one is watching. And we've been discussing a lot of things today, a lot of questions we've been talking on tonight, and we are drawing closer to the end of this particular episode. So wherever you are watching us from, we say please do not forget to like, share, and comment. So, Mr. Leety Gibson, are you there, Mr. Lee? Are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. Are you getting me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So, before we take our parting statement today, we want to talk about a little bit about leadership on the thing of integrity. Is very essential in leadership. Why you think that every leaders who have been given the opportunity should have integrity? Why you think it's very important? Why they should have it? No,
Hello, can you hear me?
yes.
Yeah, internet. So there was a discussion in your internet connectivity. So I think you have to rephrase the question so that I can get you well. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Did you get a question?
No, just please repeat.
So we want to talk about the thing of leadership, right? Why do you think that every leaders should have integrity in society or everywhere they serve? Yeah. Why do you really think that?
Yeah, okay, so like we, you know, like we have been saying about, integrity, um, moral value, character, and everything. Being a leader, you should embody all of those characteristics because you are leading people. People are looking up to you for, mentorships. They are looking up to you for good leadership. So whatever you do is going to serve as, as of, you know, uh, or steps or precedents that they should follow. So you should have that character, you should have that moral value, you should have that integrity and everything that comes with leadership. So that in your leaderships, when you are leading people, people will be able to follow you. So, you know, one thing that a leader should also do, and that is why you should have a good character, you should have that moral value, you should have integrity and everything. It is because those that will leave their, their own activities, and follow you, they should be able to benefit. That is to say, your character should, should transform them, your behavior, your value, and everything. That is why Christ said, say, come and follow me. I will make you a great, one. I just forgot the scripture. It did not say, come and follow me. I will make me to be who I want to be. That is to say, he wants you to come to follow him so that he can transform you. And how can he transform you if he doesn't have those characteristics that it takes for once to transform another person? So that's why he said, come and follow me. And then you will see the difference, right? You will be transformed. So being a leader, you should have that character, to transform somebody from that old self to a new self. Because you cannot allow people to follow you and then you start to install all kinds of bad behavior in them, or you start to allow them to subscribe to your bad behaviors, your criminality and everything, corruption, So you have to have that good character so that people will look up to you as their mentor, they will look up to you as a role model, and they will learn from your footsteps. So that character, when it is missing, then there is a problem. And I think in my mind, that is the major problem that we are faced with now in this war. Leaderships, especially in our African setting, especially Liberia. The reason why today our country is where it is because of poor leaderships. Our leaders, they don't have that moral character. Not all of them, even though some of them, but vast majority of them, they don't have that moral character. They don't have that, what it takes to be a good leader. So because of that, they are seeking people. They only seek for themselves because they are not, visionaries. They don't see beyond. They only do things for the present. They are not thinking ahead because they don't have that character. As a good leader, you have vision. You should sit and look ahead 5 to 10 years. What should I become, or how this organization should be, how this country should be. If you have that character, if you have that visionary plan, you see yourself creating a plan, you see yourself working after those plans and achieving them. But look at our country today. We have all of the big great leaders. We have them in power. What is, if you ask any leader now in that holding political position in Liberia, from the presidency up to the legislature, ask them for the 10-year plans of Liberia. Where do you want to see Liberia in the next 10 years? We don't have no long-term plan in our country. People are just doing things in the morning when they woke up. Okay, we see pop hole on the other side. Let's say popular work there. We see the other one. There is no plan. Why? Because they are lacking those characteristics that or that should be embodied by a leader. So not only you having a title, not only to shout yourself or to decorate yourself with the title, oh, I'm the president, I'm the vice president, I'm the speaker, I'm the this, but you are not doing the things that that comes with those responsibility. So if you don't have the character, if you don't have that moral value, you will see yourself, nothing is going to come out of your leadership because you don't have that character, you don't have that moral value, you don't have everything. That's why they are in offices, they are appointing girlfriends, they are doing this and everything just scattered because there is no character admirers. So if we want to be a good leader, we should have moral standard, we should have character, we should have integrity, we should have values and everything so that we can we can do the right thing so that the people that we are leading, they can have something to stand on. So that's my take on the Myers.
Thank you so much, Mr. Leety Gibson. It was a nice time having you tonight on this conversation. And you said it all that if you want to be a good leader, try to be an example, because other people are looking at you. There are people who wants to be like you. There are people who are grieving every time want to be where you are, and they are seeing your footsteps. So if you are given the privilege or you have the opportunity to lead people, lead in a rightful manner, not to change. There are a lot of us, like you said previously, we just say it to people, and when we have been given the opportunity, we do another thing. And I stated it previously regarding the kind of things that happen in our country, the kind of expectation we give people about the kind of political setting we have there. But at the end of the day, when they give us the responsibility, we turn out doing different things. We turn out having our own self gain, our self interest. And you as a leader, it is not about you, but about the people, because there are people you are leading. It is not about how you feel, how you want to do it. No, it's about how how it's going to be good for the people. Always put the people first. That's what a leader should do, because these are people tomorrow that are gonna judge you though. Yeah, they're gonna judge you for what when you should have leave. Like I usually say, Mr. Lee, everything we do today is have to do with legacy. When you leave tomorrow, your children to come tomorrow, they might have the same passion for what you were doing, right? And people are gonna say, but what it meant there for us before his son or his daughter is coming back to say they want to become a person. Why? Why should we give them that opportunity after they are misused? That's why you see, I said it the last show we have. That's why you have seen a lot of past officials, their children have gained no relevance in our society today. And at times to come, because what they are doing, and there are a lot of people today the same. Once you die, meaning your knee, everything will die. There will be no legacy because of the kind of thing. If even there will be a legacy, there will be a negative one. Anytime people want to speak about you, they will always speak that kind of negative things you have done in your society. So whenever we are being given the opportunity, like you said, let's lead with passion. Let's do those things that is right, that will help us tomorrow. That when we shall lead public space, whatever place, even from the religious side, Mr. Lee, today we find these challenges there. Today we find these challenges there. They destroy that entire area, that entire department. They destroy it. And what, like I say, you living there tomorrow, people are going to say things about you. There are some, brother Lee, let me be bold to you today. There are some people who don't have time for letting the thing we're discussing today, character or integrity. There are some people they will tell you they don't have any way you want to say you say about them. And you might think that, oh yes, you're doing the rightful thing. You don't, even though we don't have time for how people say, but you as a person, it is always good to do the rightful thing, because you will always be judged for whatever you do. Yeah, if you don't do the rightful thing today, tomorrow I always say to people, when you shall have leave the space, what people want to remember you for? Is that a negative thing that you're doing? Like you are saying, Brother Lee, people just implore their self-interest people who are not qualified. We're discussing about qualification here to places, and they know that these people are not qualified only because they are self-gain, they are self-interest. So I hope that the narrative we can try to change it and have a better, concept of a leadership. And the thing is, you don't even have to be a leader. That individual you are, that little space you are controlling, it is good that you do the rightful thing, because you don't know, there are people stands distance or distances, they are watching you, whatever you are doing today. Don't feel like people are not seeing you, they see you. There are people from distances watching you, and tomorrow you will hear that, oh, we're watching this person, they do this, they do that. I want to say thank you so much for joining us. Before we call it a night, we want to take your parting statement and we're going to call it a night. Mr. BT Gibson.
Yeah, Myers, thank you. It was good to be here tonight, and the conversation was fascinating. Thanks to the Myers family, and thanks to our audience for giving us their ears, to share our views and our ideas when it comes to the topic on the discussion. So, like we were saying, the little writing you can do in your cover, try to do it to your best. Is upholding to your character, is building, legacy, your integrity, and everything. So the little you can do, once it is right, you can do it in cover, you can do it in something, something you can do it, and it can you have to do it to the best of your ability. It doesn't have to be, very big before you say, okay, this other decision is very big, so I have to embody, that integrity. I have to I want to become an integrity icon. No, you can start from a very little thing, in the corner. You can start from honesty. You can start from, being truthful. Saying the truth where it belongs, doing the right thing, everything. So you can start from small. And at the end of the day, you're gonna grow in you, and you're gonna grow in your character, and you're gonna see yourself become the best version of yourself. But if you start to compromise those small things, and you start to do small lying, other thing, and Maya, I'll tell you for sure, do you know that most of the time, if you look at it, our telephone causes a lot of problems for us, especially when it comes to communication. Most of the time we lie. We don't know, but we just see it as being very, very common, but it's not common. Anything you give chance to, it start to grow in you small. Somebody might call you, yeah, maybe you were busy or you never wanted to answer that person, the call, and then you call back, you say, oh yeah, man, I'll call you. Yeah, man, I'm not near my phone. So you said you were near your phone, but because at that point you were not feeling it convenient to talk to that person. So if you call back, just tell the person, okay, man, yeah, you called me, I saw your call, but I never want to answer. I want to call you at this time. If you start to say, if you start from a small steps, you're gonna grow bigger. But when you start compromising small, all of those people that fail, they did not just fail. They fail because they started compromising from the very small steps, and they started to grow from one step to two steps to three steps and everything like that. So let us start from the very beginning. Let's start from the little one we can control. Let us try to be honest in it. Let's be honest to our children. Let's be honest to our family. Let's be honest to ourselves, our education, and our relationship. Everything. Let's just be honest and do the right thing. So that will be my parting statement. Do the right thing, the little one that you have in your control, and then it will get bigger. You will see yourself tomorrow doing the right thing in future. So thank you, Miles. It was a good thing to be here tonight. I don't know when is the next discussion, but I'm waiting to be here again until this month can end. Thank you.
Let me say a very big thank you to you, Mr. Lee T. Gibson. We're going to be joining back here on Friday. This week, last week, sorry, we had a little issue. That's why I have to go to another state, and because of that, I did not go with my laptop. And we had a little
Okay.
problem there. So I could find a laptop and other things, but it was difficult. But we're going to be here on Friday and that was Saturday for another edition of this program. Thank you so much for joining us, and thanks to all of our followers. We should continue following the Miles TV for this kind of educative discussion. The time we take to listen to people insulting, we take the time to, we not try, that's their own way of doing their thing, right? But we say for us to have a meaningful or a good society, let's try to build. These are small things, right? We're talking about integrity tonight. Let's try to learn from these things. It will help us. Some of us who want to be a great leader, some of us who are putting more on people today in government, they are this, they are that, they are this. Let's try to learn this little thing, because if you get that tomorrow and you don't know these things, that the same thing you will do. You will say, oh, but the thing, as soon as you get that, things can change. And we don't want that things to change. We want to build a solid, leadership or government that will carry on, good things for us, that people will live a life of integrity, that tomorrow when you shall have lived, let people say, yes, this person is a good person. Let people always use you as a reference. That's why I can tell people, always use you as a reference, not a negative one, but a positive one. That's why my point have been drawn to people who always follow negative peer pressure. I say, why about the young people who are doing serious things in the community too? Why you cannot follow their footsteps? But everybody say the negative one is easier to deal with. But I will also say to do the positive one too is also easy. It just need your time and what of you. In this time, we want to say thank you so much, and we see you again on Friday for another edition. God bless you all for following us. Thank
Thank you.
you.
And dignity. Together we stand, together we build Africa's promise.